They won't knock on your door. They won't send you a warning. But one day, you'll wake up and realize your thoughts are not entirely your own. The most terrifying invasions in history didn't happen with guns and bombs. They happened quietly, subtly, while everyone was busy looking the other way. And now, the next invasion is targeting the last truly private space left on Earth, your mind. But the terrifying part? Most people will welcome it, even pay for it, without understanding what they're giving up. And by the time they realize what's been taken, it will be too late to get it back. It begins with a promise, a sleek device, a revolutionary interface, a chip that lets you control machines with thought. Imagine typing an email just by thinking, learning a language in seconds, erasing trauma with a neural edit. Who wouldn't be tempted? But beneath the glossy presentations and futuristic hype, there's a darker purpose, one they're not advertising. Because beneath every sleek design lies a system built for data extraction, for behavioral prediction, for mental manipulation. It's not just the interface they're selling, it's access to the most sacred part of you. Because if they can read your thoughts, they can record them. And if they can record them, they can alter them. This isn't just science fiction anymore. The race to merge minds with machines is real, and it's accelerating. The names behind it aren't hidden. Elon Musk, Meta, DARPA, Google. They're all investing billions into brain-computer interfaces, and the tech is no longer theoretical. In labs and startups across the globe, human thoughts are already being decoded, stored, manipulated. The line between biology and software is blurring, and with it, the boundaries of free will. What once belonged only to you, your private mind, becomes a shared platform, an open API. It starts with medical applications, helping stroke victims speak again, letting paralyzed people move prosthetic limbs. Beautiful, noble goals. But that's the bait. The real value isn't in healing people, it's in mapping the human brain like a hard drive, organizing it, predicting it, controlling it. Once your brain is a readable system, it becomes programmable. Once it's programmable, you're no longer sovereign. You are a node, a client in someone else's system, a user with no administrator rights. The operating system of your consciousness becomes upgradable and overridable. Think about this. In the digital world, every single device can be hacked. Every cloud server, every smart fridge, every phone. So why would your brain be any different? Once you're connected, you're exposed, vulnerable. Your inner world, your desires, fears, secrets, becomes data. And where there is data, there is profit and control. Your preferences can be nudged, your memories reinterpreted, your identity reshaped, not with a gun to your head, but with code inside it. And if your personality becomes a product, who owns it? And what happens when they decide to update it without your consent? This is the great paradox of our time. They sell us freedom, but deliver obedience. They promise empowerment, but design dependence. Because if your brain interface gives you superhuman memory, you'll never want to go back. If it lets you feel euphoric, productive, limitless, why disconnect? Addiction becomes architecture, and control hides behind convenience. The more seamless the integration, the harder it becomes to tell where the machine ends and you begin. The feedback loop tightens until you can't tell the difference between your own intention and your device's suggestion. Let's go deeper. A brain interface isn't like a smartphone. You can put a phone down, you can turn it off. But when the device is fused with your neurology, it becomes part of your identity. A malfunction isn't just annoying, it's catastrophic. And an update isn't optional. If the company behind your chip pushes a software patch and it changes how you think, How would you even know? If an algorithm starts filtering what emotions you're allowed to feel, what memories you're allowed to recall, how would you fight back? What if your beliefs were gradually adjusted, one update at a time, until you no longer even question the system itself? You wouldn't. That's the genius of it. There's no battlefield, no enemy to shoot. The war is invisible, and the casualties are voluntary. The new tyranny is elegant, internal, intimate. It doesn't require oppression. It operates through participation. You won't notice the bars of your cage if they're made of your own desires. The price of entry is subtle, a trade of privacy for potential, of autonomy for augmentation. This isn't a future problem. The groundwork is already here. Startups like Neuralink are testing invasive implants. Others are building wearable EEG headbands that promise to track your focus and moods in real time. These devices are pitched as wellness tools, learning enhancers, even productivity hacks. Every step brings us closer to full-spectrum mental surveillance. They normalize the infrastructure of control before the control itself is obvious. And once enough people opt in, the rest won't be given a choice. What happens when your employer wants to monitor your brainwaves to make sure you're focused? What happens when insurance companies require a neural health scan before approving your coverage? What happens when law enforcement can subpoena your thoughts? What happens when dissent becomes diagnosable and therefore correctable? When depression or defiance can be patched away or flagged as risks? There's already precedent. In China, some factories are experimenting with brainwave monitoring helmets to measure emotional states of workers. In the US, defense contractors are working on predictive behavior analysis using real-time neural data. The lines between thought, action, and control are blurring fast. We're entering a world where intention itself could be criminalized before it's ever acted upon. A pre-crime society, not based on surveillance footage, but on inner signals. And the public? Still asleep. Still mesmerized by the utopian marketing campaigns, still lining up to be upgraded, enhanced, connected, still trusting the same companies that built the surveillance web to now become caretakers of their cognition. The same companies that couldn't protect your email password now want root access to your brain. Ask yourself, who really benefits from a world where your every thought can be tracked, quantified, optimized? Who gains power when the last refuge of freedom, your mind, becomes part of the cloud? Who decides what's a desirable thought and what isn't? Who holds the keys to the neural software updates? Who gets to shape the minds of the next generation, not through education, but through firmware? This is not about rejecting technology. It's about demanding boundaries. It's about protecting what it means to be human. Because once we cross that final threshold, once we allow corporations or governments to write code into our brains, there may be no turning back. The interface becomes identity. And when identity is owned, autonomy is gone. And when autonomy is gone, freedom becomes a simulation, convincing, but hollow. Imagine a world where political dissent can be turned off with a neural patch, where traumatic memories can be erased to ensure compliance, where advertising doesn't persuade you, it programs you, where your dreams quite literally are not your own, where loyalty is installed, where fear is deleted, where your inner world becomes just another digital product to be refined and sold, where every human becomes a managed file system, constantly backed up, constantly reviewed. Now imagine trying to explain to your grandchildren why you let it happen, why you said yes, why you didn't ask questions, why you trusted them. The same ones who turned social networks into behavioral labs, who turned attention into a commodity, who now want to turn thought into software. Why you gave away the last part of yourself that still belonged only to you. Because make no mistake, you will be asked, not with force, not with threats, but with seduction, with status, with the irresistible promise of power. They won't take your mind by violence. They'll get you to hand it over, willingly, excitedly, eagerly. Because when everyone around you is connected, enhanced, optimized, the fear of being left behind will be stronger than the fear of losing control. And when that moment comes, when the neural upgrade is offered, when saying yes seems like progress and saying no feels like being left behind, remember what's really at stake. Your freedom, your mind, your very sense of self. The one thing no one should ever own, not even you, if it means giving it away. Because once it's gone, you won't even remember what it felt like to be free. They're coming. They're already here. And most of us have already agreed. Not with a signature, not with a vote, but with silence. And silence in this war is surrender. And this war is already being lost.